Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is Jeff Dostalek, Fitch-Rona EMS, Deputy Chief, and so much more. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Tell me what I'm more of so that I know too. I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
We'll see. We're talking about cold weather, and just the weather in general has been something else this year. It's been nice, but we'll save it to the end. I'll tell you where the more is, and that is you helping me shovel. But that's in a different part here.
I have a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy. So Jeff, first and foremost, we've got more snow coming in later today into tomorrow. But if we're looking at this just globally, when these snowstorms come in and stuff, from a safety standpoint, the first thing I think of, well, depending on the temperature outside is one thing, but falls on the other side of this, and or on the heavy wet snow that we saw over the weekend. Just exerting yourself in the weather. So when we're talking about just on the snow side of things, what safety tips do you have there for us?
Yeah, there's so many things that go along with weather that's been rolling through our area lately. I think a couple of things just to remember is, the sidewalks, the pavement, they may look dry, but they're, as snow melts and then it refreezes and it melts and it refreezes, there's a lot of slippery spots. We do several calls after we have incidences of snowfall and cold weather where people have fallen and broken things. And so just to, be aware of your surroundings as you're walking through a parking lot or a sidewalk, or even going down your steps at your house, that it's well salted and that you're just slowly moving. You don't need to get anywhere in a hurry. That's probably one of the biggest tips I can give today, is just being prepared for that weather and being observant of your surroundings, where in the middle of the summertime, you don't really need to, look for slippery spots, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at exerting yourself in shoveling and stuff, we may be more this year, been inside more, been, not been able to go out. If been watching the show, you've watched Jeremy put on a few pounds this year, and, getting out and doing some of that shoveling could create some trouble. What are some warning signs that maybe you overdid it and you need help immediately?
Yeah. So first things is just to, watch for those cardiac type signs. So chest pain, shortness of breath, not feeling well, having some nausea, those kinds of things that could lead to bigger events down the road. With the pandemic, a lot of people are afraid to go to the hospital when they have those signs and symptoms. And we know, from our own experience here at Fitch-Rona, and that we've heard throughout the country, that people are waiting to be seen, and that could be costly. It could cost you your life. So if you're going to go out and shovel and you don't have a guy like I have a guy, or now you're going to have one as soon as we're done here, if you don't have somebody that can help you, just take your time, and take it really slow. Reach out to there are community people out there that Do Good Wisconsin, one of them, that is willing to come out and help. And so just reach out and try to get a little bit of help to shovel the snow, and do it slowly. And if you feel like you're getting to a point where you're too exhausted, or you're having, even that little inkling of chest pain, stop, go in, call 911. We'll come and evaluate you, and make sure that you're taken care of. Please don't wait.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to wait. You want to get the motions going, especially in that type of scenario. All right, turning our attention to the cold weather, we're going to see our first Arctic blast of the year, and a long-lasting, at least a week of cold temperatures. So cold weather emergencies. 101 time, Jeff. First thing you think of, and tell your medics in this cold weather. What do you share with them?
What do I share with them? Stay warm, stay hydrated. And the biggest thing for cold weather is just to be prepared to have that safety kit in your car, an extra blanket, some extra food that you might need in the event that you get stuck, a shovel, a charged cell phone, an extra cell phone battery, and a charger, those kinds of things, just to be prepared. gloves, hats. I mean, I know that's all kind of simple stuff that, we learned as we grew up, but if we're just running to the store and your car dies on the highway and you might be out there for a good, hour or two, that you're protected. Make sure that you stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluids and eat appropriately. Make sure that we talked about dressing, have that kit in your car and be well rested. We're all busy and life, gets out of control sometimes, but when we have this kind of weather, we just really have to think about our own personal safety and those that we love around us, and that will certainly make a difference.
Absolutely. And Jeff, do you, as you're thinking about going, this cold weather is coming in Friday night right into the weekend. So, people will be traveling in the higher amounts of snow if you're traveling up north. But going outside, what are some of those warning signs that you need to get back inside because you've got hypothermia setting in or frostbite is setting in that you need to get inside and get warmed up?
Yeah, so a lot of people that have medical conditions, they may not feel that their fingers and their toes are getting cold. So if you notice that your fingers are turning waxy and you don't have any feeling them anymore, you went out sledding, for example, and didn't take a good set of gloves with you. Those are kinds of things that you need to get inside and make sure that you stay warm. And really just to not spend a whole lot of time outside unless you necessarily have to. I think it's important to limit your time out there and just stay inside and stay warm. If you have to travel, just to have those precautions and extra stuff in your car. I know a lot of the places, I guess I haven't looked to see what the amount of like the heating packs that you can put in your boots or put in your hand warmers, but to carry those as well. And then just pay attention to your body. Like if you feel cold and it's time to go in, it probably is time to go in.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to listen to your body. I think if I'm hearing this again and again, whether it's shoveling to being outside, you really got to listen and adhere to those warning signs that are happening. Checking on loved ones as well during, we talk about it during the hot part of the season, but even during the cold part of the season, it's still good to check in on those out there.
Sure.
What would you have for any guidelines on that for checking in on folks and making sure they're staying warm?
Yeah, so your surroundings in your neighborhood, if you know that there are older adults in your neighborhood that live alone, or it's a little bit harder for them to get out. Check on them today. Tomorrow the snow is going to start. Make sure that they have all the things that they need to get through the storm. If power happens to go out, will they have food? Will they have enough clothing to take care of them? But where we might be able to is adults that can get out and get that stuff, they might not be able to do that. Obviously help them shovel if you need to help them shovel, or try to make arrangements for them so they don't need to do that. I can speak for somebody like my mom, that kind of stuff bothers her, like the driveway is not shoveled, and they're going to try to make every effort to go out and do that despite the dangers of doing that. So just in calling on them and just checking in on them to make sure that they're safe. And I think that's the most important thing that we can do. And obviously, we're here, police, fire, and EMS are here to assist. And, if somebody gets into trouble, you need to give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, it can be an emergency if all of a sudden you lose power, your whole block lose power. I mean, if your backup plan was to go to the neighbor's house and their house is out and the next person's house is out and you can't get out, I mean, it's an emergency situation developing fast,
Definitely.
especially in extreme weather. So I'm glad you point that out, Jeff. Any other safety tips here as we conclude our talk here of cold weather?
Yeah, one thing that just came to mind as we were talking about this is, if you have outside pipes, or you have a basement that's not heated, it's going to get really cold. Is to try and make sure that you keep those pipes warm enough so that they don't freeze. In the summertime, I shut my furnace off, the vent off to the basement, so I don't cool the basement because it's, it's already sort of cool. But in the wintertime, I have that vent open to make sure that my pipes don't freeze. The outside pipes don't freeze if you can prevent that, because, having water in your basement and it's, 5 below zero outside is really kind of a mess. So I think just being aware of surroundings, to kind of bring it back, being aware of surroundings, checking on your loved ones, checking on your neighbors, making sure that you're prepared and having those things in place, that in the event you get stuck outside, that you're going to be safe and you're going to be warm, and, and call for help if you need it.
It's a really good point. I keep my basement door open. I keep it closed in the summertime, and I keep it open in the wintertime to keep the heat moving out throughout the house, just for that very reason. So,
Right.
good point there, Jeff. And thank you so much for jumping on and doing. Hey, my son agrees with you 100% on that
Yes.
too, Jeff.
Good guy.
He just buys into that. So, Jeff, appreciate the time as always. I got to go deal with that, and you stay safe out there. And
Have a good day.
we'll talk to you soon. You
Take
too.
care.
Jeff Dostalek, Fitch-Rona EMS. We'll check back in with them real soon. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.